You don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. In this video, I'm gonna share my top 3 mistakes that I made on my very first real estate investment deal. The first one is that I was way too scattered and had no clue what I was doing. If you wanna hear that story and the other 2, stay tuned. We start right now. Hey there, friends. My name is Anson Young, and I have been a real estate investor and agent for the last 14 or 15 years. And on this channel, I want to help you reach your goals, whether it's in business, in real estate, in life, or wherever. And of course, try and be entertaining at the same time. Informational, educational, entertainment, info-edutainment. And speaking of, you don't have to get it right, you just have to get it going. I had eye surgery about 10 days ago, and I'm gonna try and spare you the grisly details and the having to look at it, unfortunately. But I wanted to get this out right away because there are other things that are going on, and I wanted this to launch as soon as possible. So I didn't have to wait till A, B, C, or D was done. I'm just gonna launch at B and see how it goes. I can't wait for my eye to get better, to look better, so it doesn't look like, that. And so here we go. Now I really wanna start this off with telling you kind of the backstory of how I got started. This is my origin story. And of course, the mistakes that I made on that very first deal. Many people wait to do their first deal or to launch something until every single thing is right. They're afraid to make mistakes and they're paralyzed by fear, and I get it. I'll give you the very short version of my story, and maybe later on in another video I'll go into more detail. How many times did I say more? More? Here's the short story. I worked in IT until I didn't. I had to decide if I wanted to go back into IT. We planned to move to Phoenix to be closer to my brother's family and their new daughter. A friend gave me Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I still have it. It's right over there. See, I still have it. It's still over there. I decided to go into real estate instead of IT. I worked for free for some agents and investors, and so I can learn the ropes of real estate. I also signed up and paid for some mentorship, and more on that in a minute. Then I found my first deal, a property that an agent I was working with handed it to me, and I jumped in with both feet for better or for worse. And here is what went wrong. Mistake number 1, like I said in the intro, is that I was scattered and I had no laser focus. I had 10 different strategies in mind for this property and couldn't settle on just one. So I tried them all, or I tried most of them. I didn't know how to analyze the deal, and I just had to place a huge amount of faith into my agent that all of the numbers were right. That could probably be its own mistake, I guess. My entry strategy was very scattered. Every single one of those options looked great. Within the first month, I tried to lease option the property, I tried to rent it, I tried to wholesale it, which I didn't even know what it was at the time. And at the end, my wife and I looked at each other and she said, why don't we just move into it so that we can fix it up? It's very smart. I think we'll keep her. Since I didn't fully commit to the first 3 or 4 things that I was trying to do, I would get somebody who was interested in a lease option, but then they would go away after I was being wishy-washy and not understanding what was going on, how much to charge them, what made sense for the market, all of that stuff. So I missed out on that first month, plus probably maybe a better strategy than the one I landed on. Mistake number 2 is that I hired an out-of-state mentor. I paid $3,000 for a mentor to give me a weekend boot camp in Chicago. And then I came home with 10 strategies inside of a binder, and those are the 10 strategies that I tried. I had no idea what worked, and so I just kind of tried them all. When things started getting real, since he was not local, he had no idea what the market was like, what I should be charging, how much I should sell it for, what the right strategy was. Everything was just kind of surface level, and since he was so far away, it really wasn't a big help. I'm not saying an in-state mentor might have been any better, but here we are. And there went $3,000. I mean, I was bartending at the time. That's like a lot of nights bartending for that money. All right, mistake number 3 is I had no exit strategy and I was not paying attention to the market at all. I had no clue what was going on at the time. This was 2004 and 2005 in Phoenix. Things were on fire, but that's all I knew. I knew that my hairdresser wanted to get into flipping houses, and now I know that's a red flag. But we had no strategy after we moved in and fixed it up. It didn't feel like an investment property. I had no timeline and I had no exit plan. Looking back on it now, I have 2 or 3 ways that I could have exited that property and a timeline to do it in. I could have lease optioned it. I could have done a short-term rental, which I think was just coming online at the time, like VRBO, or I could have just rented the property. And since I knew nothing about market cycles, how things are unsustainable at some level, like a 44% appreciation in Phoenix at the time, I should have been looking at an exit strategy so that I didn't get caught when the market fell out from under me. But you don't know what you don't know. We ended up selling it outright and moving back to Colorado. And I gotta say, we got very lucky. So despite all of those mistakes, this is how it ended. Short version. We went to Vegas for our anniversary. We decided we didn't like Phoenix anymore. It's time to go home. I emailed my agent to tell her we were thinking of selling. She said her parents wanted to buy the house. We agreed to a price and I took her word for it. We sold the house a month later. We moved back to Denver with $60,000 in profit. And the Phoenix market started cooling off in the next couple months. I mean, we got away with it. I'm not kidding you. We sold in December 2005. By the beginning of 2006, things were looking very icy cold in Phoenix. Things were starting to chill off. If you remember, the start of kind of the very start of the subprime mortgage crisis that went into the 2008 financial crisis, 2009, all the way till 2011 when things started to recover. I looked up property values for houses that we were looking at or the house that we had, and we would have lost 60% of the home value if we held on to it through those years. And we would either be stuck in that house or we would have to short sale or foreclose or something like that. So we did get lucky. We did. Just to recap, mistake number 1 cost us time, it cost us money, and it cost us a lot of stress. Mistake number 2 cost me $3,000 and a lot of headaches. Mistake number 3 definitely could have cost us everything. The mistakes in between could have cost us all of our profit and then some. And if we didn't sell right when we did, we would have lost out on that amount of profit within 6 months or so. So I hope you can learn and laugh from my mistakes. And if you made a mistake on your first purchase or your first investment property, leave a comment below. I love hearing real estate stories. I definitely want to hear yours. Thank you as always for your time and for your attention. And we'll see you next time.